This video contains audio content only. There are no visual elements or images accompanying the audio. If you're expecting to see video footage, please note that this is an intentional audio-only presentation. We recommend listening to this content rather than watching the screen. Thank you for your understanding and enjoy the audio. Welcome to today's exploration of one of South Asia's most fascinating and misunderstood communities, the Hijra. For centuries, they have existed as a distinct cultural group that challenges our binary understanding of gender and showcases the rich complexity of human identity. Today, we're diving deep into their world, examining their historical roots, cultural significance, and the contemporary challenges they face. What makes the Hijra story particularly compelling is how it interweaves ancient spiritual traditions with modern gender identity discussions. Imagine a community that has existed for over 4,000 years, mentioned in ancient Hindu texts, respected in Mughal courts, criminalized under British rule, and now fighting for recognition in the modern world. Their journey is not just about gender identity, it's about resilience, cultural preservation, and the ongoing struggle for human dignity. Before we delve deeper, it's important to understand that the term Hijra itself defies simple translation into Western concepts. While often categorized under the transgender umbrella in modern discourse, Hijras represent something uniquely South Asian, a distinct cultural identity that encompasses aspects of gender, spirituality, and community living that has no exact parallel in Western society. Today's journey will take us through 5 fascinating aspects of Hijra life and culture. We'll explore their ancient religious roots and historical significance, understand their unique social structure and community organization, examine their complex relationship with gender identity, investigate their changing social status through different historical periods, and finally, look at how their community is transforming in the modern world. 1. Ancient history and religious context. Deep within the ancient Sanskrit texts lies a rich tapestry of stories that form the foundation of Hijra identity. The Mahabharata, one of Hinduism's most revered epics, tells the compelling story of Aravan and Krishna that has become central to Hijra mythology. As the tale goes, Aravan, a warrior destined to be sacrificed for victory in the Great War, had one final wish: to experience marriage before his death. When no woman would agree to become his widow, Lord Krishna transformed himself into Mohini, a beautiful woman, to fulfill Aravan's wish. This divine gender transformation is seen as the celestial origin of the Hijra community. The Kama Sutra, dating back to between 400 BCE and 200 CE, explicitly mentions people of Tritiya Prakriti, or third nature. These references weren't merely acknowledging their existence, they were establishing their place in the cosmic order. The text describes in detail their roles, behaviors, and even their intimate lives, suggesting a society that not only recognized but had developed sophisticated understanding of gender variance. In the Puranas, we find references to 3 kinds of divine beings of music and dance: Asparas, female; Gandharvas, male; and Kinnars, neuter. The term Kinnar is still used in parts of India to refer to Hijras, connecting them directly to these celestial beings. The Manu Smriti, an ancient legal text, even attempts to explain the biological origin of the third sex, suggesting it occurs when there is an equal prevalence of male and female seed. The story of Shikhandi in the Mahabharata provides another powerful narrative. Born female but raised as a male, Shikhandi became a great warrior and played a crucial role in the epic battle of Kurukshetra. This story demonstrates how ancient Hindu society recognized and even celebrated gender transformation when it served dharma, cosmic duty. The arrival of Islamic rule in South Asia, particularly during the Delhi Sultanate, 1206 to 1526, and Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1707, marked a fascinating evolution in Hijra identity and social status. During this period, Hijras achieved unprecedented political influence and social recognition, holding positions that ranged from royal guards to trusted political advisors. The Mughal courts particularly valued Hijras for their unique position as gender-transcendent beings. They were entrusted with guarding the royal harems, a role that required both physical proximity to the women's quarters and freedom from conventional male-female attractions. Historical records show that some Hijras rose to positions of significant power, managing vast portions of the royal household and even conducting diplomatic missions. What's particularly interesting is how Hijras maintained their Hindu religious practices while adapting to Islamic cultural influences. Many adopted Muslim names and observed Islamic traditions like Ramadan while continuing their devotion to Hindu deities, especially Bhachara Mata. This syncretic approach created a unique cultural identity that transcended religious boundaries. The Mughals provided many Hijras with land grants and the right to collect taxes from certain territories, establishing their economic independence. These rights were hereditary within the Hijra community structure, passed down through the Guru Chela system. Historical documents from this period show Hijras receiving regular stipends from the state treasury, indicating their officially recognized status. The spiritual power attributed to Hijras manifests most visibly in their traditional ceremonial roles, which continue to this day in many parts of South Asia. Their most significant ritual function is blessing newborns and newlyweds, a practice rooted in their connection to fertility deities and their perceived ability to confer prosperity. When a child is born, Hijras often arrive uninvited to perform bada celebrations. Their blessings are believed to be particularly powerful because of their unique position between the masculine and feminine principles. The ritual typically involves dancing, singing, and bestowing blessings in exchange for gifts. Many families fear that refusing these blessings might result in a curse, highlighting the community's spiritual authority. At weddings, Hijras perform elaborate dances and songs, often appearing on the third day of traditional ceremonies. Their performances aren't mere entertainment, they're considered sacred acts that ensure the couple's fertility and marital harmony. The songs they sing often contain ancient wisdom about relationships and gender roles, preserved through oral tradition for generations. The most profound spiritual aspect of Hijra identity is their relationship with Bhachara Mata. The initiation ritual known as Nirvan, where some Hijras undergo ritual emasculation, is considered the ultimate devotional act. This ceremony takes place in absolute secrecy, usually at dawn, and is preceded by lengthy fasting and prayer. The ritual is believed to transform the initiate into a vessel of the goddess's power, capable of channeling divine blessings and curses. This spiritual authority extends beyond formal ceremonies. Hijras are often consulted for spiritual guidance, particularly in matters relating to fertility and relationships. Their prayers are believed to have special power during droughts, and historical records mention Hijra communities performing rainmaking rituals during times of scarcity. 2. Cultural identity and social structure. The Guru Chela system forms the backbone of Hijra social organization, creating a complex network of relationships that's both hierarchical and nurturing. This system, which has existed for centuries, goes far beyond simple mentorship. It's a complete reconstruction of family ties and social identity. When an individual joins the Hijra community, they undergo a process called Reet, a ceremonial adoption by a guru. This ritual effectively severs their ties with their biological family and establishes new kinship bonds within the Hijra community. The guru becomes more than a teacher. They become a mother figure responsible for their chela's physical, emotional, and economic well-being. The economic aspects of this relationship are particularly fascinating. Chelas are required to surrender all their earnings to their guru, who then redistributes resources among their household. This system ensures economic security for all community members, particularly important given their often precarious position in mainstream society. A guru might have anywhere from 5 to 50 chelas, creating a complex network of relationships and obligations. The knowledge transfer within this system is equally intricate. Gurus teach their chelas everything from traditional dance performances and ritual songs to the secret language of the community, known as Hijra Farsi. This language, a mixture of Persian, Sanskrit, and local languages, serves both practical and symbolic purposes. It allows Hijras to communicate privately in public spaces while also preserving their distinct cultural identity. What's particularly remarkable is how this system has adapted to modern challenges while maintaining its core structure. Today's gurus often help their chelas navigate modern institutions, from healthcare systems to legal recognition processes, while still preserving traditional knowledge and practices. The Hijra community operates through a sophisticated system of houses or gharanas, each with its own traditions, territories, and internal hierarchies. These gharanas function like extended families, complete with their own rules of succession, dispute resolution mechanisms, and ceremonial practices. Each gharana has its own distinctive style of performance and ritual practices, passed down through generations. Some gharanas are known for their excellence in classical dance, others for their expertise in traditional blessing ceremonies. This specialization helps maintain diversity within the broader Hijra culture while ensuring economic niches for different groups. The internal governance structure is remarkably democratic despite its hierarchical nature. Regular community meetings called Jamaat are held to resolve disputes, make important decisions, and maintain community standards. These meetings can involve hundreds of Hijras from different gharanas, with senior gurus acting as judges and arbitrators. The kinship system extends beyond individual guru-chela relationships to create complex networks of nani, grandmother, masi, aunt, and bahenchad, sister, relationships. These relationships come with specific rights and obligations, creating a safety net that supports community members through various life challenges. Particularly interesting is the community's approach to property rights and inheritance. When a guru passes away, their property and chelas are inherited according to strict traditional rules, usually by their first or most senior chela. This system ensures continuity of lineage and economic stability within the community. The process of becoming a Hijra involves a series of elaborate rituals and ceremonies that can span several years. The journey begins with an initial period of observation and testing, where the potential initiate lives with the community while maintaining their original gender presentation. The first formal step is the Reet ceremony, where the initiate is officially adopted by their guru. This ceremony involves elaborate rituals including the washing of the guru's feet, exchange of garlands, and the presentation of gifts. The initiate takes an oath of loyalty to their guru and the community, promising to follow community rules and maintain its secrets. For those who choose to undergo the complete transformation, the Nirvan operation is the most significant ritual. This ceremony, performed in absolute secrecy, involves ritual emasculation followed by a 40-day period of seclusion and healing. During this time, the initiate is considered to be in a state of spiritual transformation, connecting with the divine feminine energy of Bahachara Mata. The complexity of these rituals extends to the practical training required to become a fully functioning member of the community. Initiates must learn the traditional arts of dancing and singing, master the secret language, and understand the intricate protocols governing interactions within and outside the community. What's particularly fascinating is how these traditions have adapted to modern times while maintaining their essential character. While some aspects have been modified, for instance, many modern Hijras opt for medical gender confirmation surgery rather than traditional nirvan, the spiritual and cultural significance of these rituals remains intact. 3. Gender and identity. The concept of third gender in South Asian culture transcends Western binary understandings of gender identity. Hijras frequently describe themselves as neither male nor female, occupying a unique space that combines aspects of both while being distinctly its own category. What makes this identity particularly fascinating is its cultural specificity. Unlike modern Western transgender identities that often focus on transitioning from one binary gender to another, Hijra identity is about inhabiting a distinct third space. This is reflected in their own terminology. Many Hijras refer to themselves as Kanar or Aravani, terms that have specific cultural and spiritual connotations. The physical manifestation of Hijra identity varies significantly. While some undergo nirvan, ritual emasculation, or modern gender confirmation surgeries, others maintain their birth-assigned physical characteristics while adopting feminine dress and mannerisms. This diversity is accepted within the community, reflecting an understanding that Hijra identity is more about social role and spiritual connection than physical attributes. Language plays a crucial role in expressing this unique identity. Hijras have developed their own dialect, mixing elements of local languages with specific terms that describe their experiences and relationships. They often use feminine pronouns and grammatical forms, but also have specific honorifics that acknowledge their distinct status. The misconception that all Hijras are intersex has been prevalent in South Asian society. While some Hijras are indeed intersex, most are assigned male at birth and later adopt Hijra identity. This demonstrates how the identity transcends biological categories to encompass social, cultural, and spiritual dimensions. The intersection of traditional Hijra identity with modern LGBTQ+ terminology and concepts creates fascinating dynamics. While many international organizations and Western researchers categorize Hijras under the transgender umbrella, this classification doesn't fully capture the complexity of Hijra identity. Some younger Hijras, particularly in urban areas, have begun identifying with the term transgender alongside their Hijra identity. This dual identification allows them to connect with global LGBTQ+ movements while maintaining their cultural specificity. However, many traditional Hijras resist this categorization, arguing that it oversimplifies their unique cultural and spiritual role. The advent of modern medical transitions has created new conversations within the community. While traditional Hijras underwent nirvana, modern options like hormone therapy and surgical procedures offer new possibilities. This has led to debates within the community about authenticity, tradition, and adaptation to modern times. International recognition has brought both benefits and challenges. While inclusion in global transgender rights movements has helped advance legal protections, it has also sometimes led to misunderstandings of Hijra culture. Western concepts of gender dysphoria and transition don't always align with Hijra experiences of gender and community belonging. Some Hijra activists have worked to bridge these different understandings, advocating for rights while maintaining cultural distinctiveness. They argue that Hijras can benefit from modern transgender rights frameworks while preserving their unique spiritual and cultural heritage. The personal stories of Hijras reveal the complex interplay of gender, spirituality, and community in their lives. Many describe feeling different from an early age, but their journey to Hijra identity often involves spiritual awakening as much as gender recognition. Take the story of Hina, a 51-year-old Hijra who describes herself as a mermaid. My body tells me I am a man, but my soul tells me I am a woman. This poetic self-description reveals how Hijras often understand their identity through metaphors that transcend simple gender categories. The journey to joining the Hijra community frequently involves personal struggle and sacrifice. Many face rejection from their biological families, leaving education or careers behind. However, these narratives often emphasize the sense of belonging and purpose found within the Hijra community. As one Hijra explains, "When I found my guru, I found my true mother. When I found my sisters, I found my true family." Daily life brings unique challenges and joys. Many Hijras describe the empowerment they feel performing traditional blessing ceremonies, where their distinctive status grants them spiritual authority. Others speak of the difficulties navigating public spaces, where they may face discrimination but also find strength in their community's support. The emergence of Hijra public figures has created new narratives of success and visibility. Figures like Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi have become prominent activists, while others have achieved success in politics, arts, and media. These success stories provide new models for younger Hijras while challenging societal prejudices. 4. Social status and challenges. The stark contrast between the historical reverence of Hijras and their current social marginalization tells a compelling story of cultural transformation. During the Mughal era, Hijras held positions of significant power. They were royal courtiers, harem guards, and trusted advisors. Historical records show they received land grants, collected taxes, and wielded considerable political influence. This elevated status was rooted in both religious beliefs and practical considerations. Their perceived connection to divine powers made them respected spiritual figures, while their unique gender position made them ideal intermediaries between male and female spaces in segregated royal courts. Historical documents reveal that insulting or harming a Hijra was considered a serious offense, often resulting in severe punishment. The decline of their social status began during British colonial rule. The Criminal Tribes Act of 1871 classified Hijras as criminal tribes, subjecting them to surveillance, harassment, and imprisonment. This legislation not only criminalized their identity but also destroyed their traditional economic networks and social support systems. Contemporary discrimination manifests in multiple ways. Many Hijras face difficulty accessing basic services. Hospitals often refuse treatment, landlords deny housing, and employers reject job applications. The stigma is so severe that some hospitals have separate wards for Hijras, ostensibly for their protection but effectively reinforcing their segregation. What's particularly poignant is how this discrimination contrasts with the continuing belief in Hijra's spiritual powers. The same society that marginalizes them still seeks their blessings at weddings and births, creating a paradoxical relationship of fear, respect, and prejudice. The economic challenges facing the Hijra community have forced the development of complex survival strategies. Traditional sources of income, performing at ceremonies, collecting bada, ritual payments, and receiving alms, have become increasingly unreliable in modern urban settings. Many Hijras have been pushed into sex work or begging due to systematic exclusion from formal employment. A study in Bangladesh found that over 82% of Hijras engaged in sex work reported doing so because they had no other economic options. This work exposes them to various risks, including violence, HIV infection, and legal persecution. However, some Hijras have found innovative ways to adapt their traditional roles to modern contexts. In Mumbai, some groups have formed entertainment companies that provide traditional Hijra performances for corporate events and international tourists. Others have become successful entrepreneurs, opening beauty parlors or small businesses that cater to their community's specific needs. The Guru Chela system plays a crucial role in economic survival. Gurus often act as informal bankers, pooling resources and distributing them among community members in need. Some Gharanas have established cooperative savings schemes, helping members access credit and investment opportunities otherwise denied to them by formal financial institutions. Recent government initiatives in countries like India have attempted to address these economic challenges through reserved jobs and skill development programs. However, implementation remains problematic, with many Hijras reporting continued discrimination even in supposedly reserved positions. Access to healthcare remains one of the most critical challenges facing the Hijra community. Many hospitals lack protocols for treating transgender patients, and medical staff often display discriminatory attitudes. A particularly troubling aspect is the lack of access to safe, supervised gender confirmation procedures, leading many to risk dangerous underground operations. Mental health support is virtually non-existent, despite high rates of depression and anxiety in the community. A study in India found that over 60% of Hijras had experienced severe psychological distress, yet less than 10% had access to professional mental health care. The stigma associated with mental health issues compounds the problem, making many reluctant to seek help even when it's available. Legal recognition has been a complex journey. While India's Supreme Court recognized the third gender in 2014, practical implementation of this ruling remains challenging. Simple tasks like obtaining identity documents or updating gender markers on existing documents often involve lengthy bureaucratic battles. The criminalization of sex work affects many Hijras who rely on it for survival. Police harassment is common, with many reporting physical abuse and extortion. Even when laws exist to protect them, enforcement is often lacking or actively hostile. Healthcare barriers extend beyond direct discrimination. Many Hijras avoid seeking medical care until conditions become severe, fearing humiliation or rejection. Those who undergo hormone therapy often do so without proper medical supervision, risking serious health complications. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted these healthcare disparities. Many Hijras struggled to access testing and treatment, while lockdown measures devastated their traditional income sources. However, some community organizations emerged stronger, developing new support networks and advocacy strategies. 5. Modern transformations. The landscape of legal rights for Hijras has undergone dramatic changes in recent years, with several South Asian countries taking groundbreaking steps toward recognition. In 2014, India's Supreme Court made a landmark decision recognizing the third gender, stating that it is the right of every human being to choose their gender. This ruling wasn't just symbolic. It mandated governments to provide legal recognition and equal opportunities in education and employment. Bangladesh followed suit in 2013, officially recognizing Hijras as a third gender and implementing specific policies for their inclusion in government services. Pakistan's Supreme Court issued similar rulings in 2009, granting Hijras the right to identify as a distinct gender on national identity cards. However, the implementation of these legal reforms has revealed complex challenges. While Nepal became the first South Asian country to include a third gender option on passports, many Hijras still struggle to obtain basic identity documents. The bureaucratic process often requires medical examinations or proof of surgery, contradicting traditional Hijra identities that aren't based on medical transition. The legal recognition has had unexpected effects on traditional Hijra social structures. Some communities worry that government registration systems might undermine their traditional Guru Chela hierarchies. Others see opportunities in formal recognition, using it to establish NGOs and advocacy organizations that can access government funding and support. Recent court cases have expanded these rights further. In 2019, Tamil Nadu banned forced sex assignment surgeries on intersex infants, while Maharashtra recognized Hijras' right to inherit property through their chosen families rather than biological relatives. Modern Hijra activism represents a fascinating blend of traditional community organizing and contemporary human rights advocacy. Leaders like Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi have gained international recognition, speaking at the United Nations and other global forums while maintaining deep connections to traditional Hijra culture. The movement has evolved distinct strategies that differ from Western LGBTQ+ activism. Rather than emphasizing individual rights, Hijra activists often focus on community recognition and collective welfare. They frequently invoke their historical and spiritual roles to argue for contemporary rights, effectively using cultural heritage as a tool for modern advocacy. Social media has transformed activism within the community. Young Hijras use platforms like Instagram and TikTok to share their experiences, challenge stereotypes, and build solidarity across geographical boundaries. These digital spaces have become particularly important for isolated individuals seeking connection with the broader community. Education has emerged as a key focus of activism. Several organizations run by Hijras now operate schools and training centers, addressing the community's historically low literacy rates. These institutions often combine traditional Hijra knowledge with modern academic subjects, creating unique educational models. The intersection with feminist movements has created new alliances and tensions. While some feminist groups have become strong allies in the fight for Hijra rights, others struggle to understand and accept third gender identities within their theoretical frameworks. The collision between ancient traditions and modern society has forced the Hijra community to adapt while trying to preserve their cultural essence. Traditional blessing ceremonies, once a primary source of income, now compete with modern entertainment forms. Some Hijras have adapted by incorporating contemporary music and dance styles into their performances, while others steadfastly maintain traditional forms. Medical technology has particularly impacted traditional practices. Many young Hijras now prefer hormone therapy and surgical procedures over traditional Nirvan ceremonies. This has sparked intense debates within the community about authenticity, tradition, and adaptation. Some gurus have integrated modern medical knowledge into their traditional care practices, creating hybrid approaches to transition and community support. The traditional Guru Chela system faces new challenges from modern institutional structures. Some young Hijras now maintain connections with their biological families alongside their Hijra relationships, creating complex new forms of kinship. Others have established formal organizations that operate alongside traditional community structures. Economic modernization has created both opportunities and challenges. While some Hijras have found success in modern professions, as politicians, activists, or entrepreneurs, many struggle to adapt their traditional skills to the contemporary job market. Some communities have established cooperative businesses that combine traditional practices with modern business models. Urban development has affected traditional living arrangements, with many Hijras moving from traditional community households to individual apartments. This has led to new forms of community organization, with some groups using technology to maintain connections while living separately. The story of the Hijra community represents one of humanity's most fascinating examples of cultural resilience and adaptation. Through centuries of dramatic social change, from ancient reverence to colonial persecution and modern transformation, this unique community has maintained its essential character while evolving to meet new challenges. Today's Hijra community stands at a crucial crossroads. While legal recognition and increasing visibility have created new opportunities, they also face the challenge of preserving their unique cultural identity in an increasingly globalized world. The community's experience offers valuable lessons about the complexity of gender identity, the power of traditional knowledge systems, and the possibility of maintaining ancient wisdom in modern contexts. What makes the Hijra story particularly relevant to contemporary discussions is how it challenges our assumptions about gender, spirituality, and community. In a world increasingly focused on individual identity and binary categories, the Hijra tradition offers an alternative model, one based on collective belonging, spiritual transformation, and the possibility of existing beyond conventional gender boundaries. Looking forward, several questions emerge. How will traditional Hijra culture adapt to increasing modernization? Can ancient spiritual practices coexist with contemporary medical approaches to gender transition? Will legal recognition lead to genuine social acceptance? The answers to these questions will likely shape not just the future of the Hijra community, but our broader understanding of gender diversity and cultural preservation in the modern world. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you encountered similar traditional third gender communities in other cultures? How do you think ancient wisdom can inform modern discussions about gender and identity? Share your perspectives in the comments below. If you found this exploration of Hijra culture and identity enlightening, please consider subscribing to our channel for more in-depth examinations of fascinating cultural traditions and contemporary social issues. Don't forget to like this video and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our future releases. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of South Asia's most remarkable cultural traditions. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning about the incredible diversity of human experience.